Hello, welcome to another episode of Test Chamber. I'm hosting today, Jeff Cork. I've got Matt Miller by my side.
Hey.
Brian Shea not at my side. He's a little farther down. Great. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Well, I guess I have a microphone. So we are looking at Resogun and the Defenders expansion. It came out on the 17th, and you've been playing a lot of it, haven't you, Miller?
Oh, I love Resogun so much.
He's not being sarcastic there.
I play a lot of this game.
So let's walk through. What do we got here new?
Yeah, so there's been 2 expansions. If you haven't played since launch, there's a lot of new stuff to dig into. The last expansion added these 2 modes, Survival and Demolition. Mm-hmm. Survival is a particular favorite of mine. I really like it. It's just like one ship, survive as long as you can. There's lots of new sort of like enemy configurations you have to deal with. Demolition is very unusual. It almost is almost like kind of like a variation of Breakout in a way. It's a little bit harder to get into, and it's more different than anything else in the game. This expansion, Defenders, adds a bunch of stuff. We get these 2 new game modes, both of which we're going to take a quick look at, Protector and Commando. And you also get these new challenges, which are really cool, which are these little things that unlock as you level up that are like kind of interesting variations on existing modes, right? So here you have save all the humans on Master, but you don't get to shoot, so you can only use your boost and your like overdrive. So that's really hard. And these all unlock as you level. And as you can see, another new thing that's added. This is actually added for all players, not just people who bought the expansion. You have this leveling system where you get experience points or CP that move you up through the ranks and slowly unlock the new challenges.
So they don't provide any performance boosts or anything like that?
No, not that I've come across yet. You also have, if you haven't played since launch, there's now the ship editor. So you can see these are the old school ships that came with the original game. But then there's custom ships now. So this is one that I made myself that fits my playstyle. It has the Phobos style weapons, but it's got really strong boost, which if I used the normal Phobos, does not. So we'll hop in here.
Are you happy with the way your created ship looks?
Well, I am not an artist.
Okay.
It should be stated.
This is very interesting looking.
So let's look here. It's going to give us some little instructions here about how this mode works. We're trying to save humans to build cities. We got destroyer ships that come down every once in a while. You got to stop them. We got some new boosts that show up, a super boost and a super overdrive that are like just awesome versions. Then you got this weird thing where the world flips after you've completed 3 buildings.
Does anyone ever want that?
Well, it doesn't. It's not to your advantage, actually. It's like a challenge, right? Once it flips over, there's like a volcano that erupts, and that's bad news. So you got to like make it through that, so it'll flip back over to the city side. Nice. Your ship can carry more than 1 human eventually, which is kind of interesting. And you got a couple other things like teleports and volcanoes that you're dealing with. So basically, it's a little different from the normal gameplay mode.
They've added a lot since I last played. I played mostly around launch, so yeah, this is dramatically different.
And you can see there's kind of like different enemy configurations and enemy types.
See, I only
the
played
humans
this game.
Show up in a weird way now.
Yeah, I only played this when it first came out, so it's interesting to see what someone who knows what they're doing.
I would argue that this is the best arcade shooter I've ever played.
Wow.
Really?
Really. I really love this game. I have come back to it again and again and again in the time since the PS4 is launched. They've done a remarkable job of supporting it and adding stuff in. It's really sophisticated. The more time you spend with it, the way that you can like use boost and overdrive and the different variations on the different ship weapons, learning a style of play that works for you and that you can succeed at is a lot of fun. It's just it's a way more involved and complicated game than it appears to be at first glance.
So it's like Space Giraffe, is what you're trying to say.
Just like Space Giraffe.
Okay. It's good to see that they've kept up with supporting it, and the fact that it was so popular when it first came out, and it's dropped off like all games do eventually. But it's good to see the developers still putting out new content and still supporting the community that exists for it.
Yeah, I think that they really had a keen eye for how to make this game have a long life. See, I can't pick that guy up because I'm sort of filled up. So I'm going to go drop that off, send that guy back into his city, and then go pick this guy up and send him back as well. Uh-oh. So at launch, it was one of the first games people could get on PS Plus, and so of course a lot of people picked it up. And by continuing to offer additional paid expansions, the people like myself who I think really dug into the game and loved it are willing to spend that money just for the opportunity to check out some new game modes.
And it is really satisfying to play too. Like I love the control scheme with the two sticks and just the boost mechanic and all that stuff. It feels so good to play. And I went back to it very briefly when it came out on Vita.
Yeah.
And it just feels so good, and you can pick it right back up. And like Cork was saying, it is kind of a treat to see somebody who knows what they're doing play.
Yeah, it's I think it's just a game that does what you want a really great game to do, which is to reveal depth over time, right? When you can play this game the very first time you play it and have a lot of fun, having it be like a classic twin stick shooter. But as you learn how to use the boost and the overdrive, here we'll use our super overdrive so you can see how cool that is. There's just so much more to it that you learn, and the different modes really genuinely feel different and provide something awesome that makes the game feel different than what was before. So yeah,
cool. Should we check out the other mode?
I'd love to. Let's hop out of here.
I have a feeling that you just sit here all day and continue playing this.
Right. So let's head out. Oops.
So they've added a lot of customization to this, especially to the ship editor, but then you can also edit everything else.
Yeah, well, you've got the ship editor here. If people haven't seen it before, there's all these ships that people have made that are often gross misuses of existing licenses. But you also have the ability now to select which human type is going to come in. You can have like the crazy carnival lady, or teddy bears, or this dragon guy, lemmings. This is the original guy.
So these are not like user creations. These are things that Housemarque.
These are things you unlock. Yeah, exactly.
That would be cool if you could edit your own human to save.
So this one's really interesting. I'm not going to go through all the instructions for this one because you'll understand what's happening pretty quickly.
Okay.
But in this one, we have this little Arnold Schwarzenegger guy on the ground
nice.
that we're controlling, and it's almost like Missile Command, where we're having to deal with, like, he's got to protect his nice little house down there. And it's probably hard to hear right now, but he says all these cute little things about, like, when an asteroid hits his house, he gets all ticked off in his little Arnold voice.
That seems reasonable.
Here, I'll see if I can let this hit it.
I'll destroy you. I'm too old for this.
And this mode, I have definitely not mastered yet. It gets really hard quite quickly. And you're having to deal with stuff coming down from above and stuff coming down from the sides.
The things, like, how far back does it go? Like, it doesn't...
Like, how far can I circle?
Yeah.
It's not a full circle. There's like an edge to the map.
That would have been a nightmare.
There's one of the challenges, actually, that makes it so that every enemy, when you kill them, drops a fireball that stays on the ground for like 10 seconds. And that
sounds terrible.
Really awful.
This is really cool.
Yeah, it's like a totally different game, right? Mm-hmm. It's maybe not something that if this was all the game was, that I'd be super excited about it. But the fact that I can hop in here and have, look at that, that's awesome.
They just call this a minigun. Wow.
Yeah, this is the minigun.
This is a good-looking game.
Yeah, it's all that voxel stuff. They really have figured out how to make it look great. So anyway, we got Commando Mode here. We'll hop out. I want to show you a couple other things that are pretty neat. I did it again. We also now have the weekly challenge, which is actually a dynamic thing that changes over time. And so you can see right now, you got to gain the most score on Veteran using this special ship that you don't normally have access to, the Stardust ship. Should be noted, by the way, that Housemarque has their game Super Stardust, so
Yes.
that should play into what you can expect to see here. And so this is a thing, as near as I can tell, is just like I can play it this week and then it's gone. Okay. And not only do I have this new ship, but look, it can shoot in all directions rather than just left and right. So, you know, whatever. It's a twin stick shooter. Of course, you can shoot. That's no big deal. But what is a big deal about it is that, like, it totally changes the dynamic of control. Of like how you control the game. Normally, you're dealing with like wherever your ship is in the field, you're shooting left and right from that space.
Right.
But if you can have it be multi-directional, that totally changes things around. It changes your strategy, changes like how you approach the action, where you put your ship.
Makes it better.
Yeah, except this ship also has some downsides. It doesn't like level up its weapons in quite the same way as some of the other ones, and so. Given my druthers, I actually kind of still like some of the other ships in terms of just pure power a little bit more. So anyway, we got this weekly challenge thing. We can dig into it. But there's some other stuff that we can also look at.
But wait, there's more?
There's more. If you go back into single player, you've got these challenges over here. And these are these weird variations, right? So we can go in and we're going to try to save the most humans in survival, but humans need to be deposited, and overdrive is set to arcade mode style. So it's basically a remix of an existing way of playing the game. Because normally in survival mode, you just pick them up and they're picked up. It's done.
Now you have to deposit them
Now you have to deposit them like it would be in arcade mode. And that makes things significantly more tricky. And as you could see, there's dozens of these little challenges now in the game, which means that there's lots more different ways and different strategies you're trying to learn about how to best confront the game and do something interesting.
So the challenges are a part of this expansion. They're not part of the free update, right?
You know, I'm not positive about that. I wish I had the correct answer for you, but I know that challenge mode in general and the new leveling up thing is free, and so it's possible that that at least some of these new challenges would be available for free as well. But I'm afraid the reason I don't have the answer is as soon as this thing became publicly available, I downloaded the paid expansion. That's how excited I was about it.
And it should be mentioned also that this expansion is $4.99.
Yeah, not a bad deal, especially if you happen to have gotten this free on PS Plus back in the day.
Definitely. Now, was that how much the first expansion was? Or do you remember?
I don't remember, to be honest. I think it was somewhere in that general vicinity. If it wasn't $5, then it was real close to it.
They seem similar in scope. I would imagine that it would be around that price range.
Right. So one last thing to kind of show you that was added recently that maybe folks have not seen would be the photo mode, which is another cool little thing where you can zoom in, zoom out, get a close look at your like weird custom ship that you've made, and mine is certainly that. Pretty weird. And kind of go all over the place. You can go really far away and see the world from underneath.
Oh, that's nice.
And take these pictures and I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
Be honest, has there ever been a moment in this game where you wish you could have taken a picture before?
No, that is a fair thing. There maybe is a level of fandom for this game that is above and beyond even what I am for it, and yeah.
I think all things being equal, having that option is good.
Yeah, and then of course we've got people may not have seen some of the like co-op stuff. Let's see what our I haven't done this yet. Two little commando dudes will do together.
And going back to that photo mode, I don't necessarily think I would take many pictures, but I think it would be cool, like when you have a bunch of stuff going on the screen, like just taking another angle at it.
Right. So yeah, having the co-op stuff in here, I think is pretty rad. Just to make it add a sort of couch co-op element to what is already a really great experience. In short, what I'm trying to say is the new Resogun expansion is really excellent. And if you have not played Resogun since launch, it is totally worth hopping in and giving it a try. Unless you don't like fun.
Oh, wow.
Jeff, do you like fun?
I've been known in occasional spurts
Okay.
to have fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for everybody. Obviously, it's a twin-stick arcade shooter thing. But
not in the traditional way either.
exactly. They've done a lot of things that make it interesting and different. And I think it's a very, very polished and exciting game with lots of depth. Way more than you might think there would be.
Cool. Well, fellows, thanks for showing off the game and everything. Appreciate it. And we'll see you in another episode of Test Chamber. Bye.